High expectations in Death Valley. The Clemson Tigers return a legitimate Heisman contender and arguably the most exciting player in college football. The man responsible for fulfilling those expectations, head coach Dabo Swinney. Coach, you recently wrapped up your 5th spring practice. What did you take away from those few weeks?
Well, I mean, we've got a good veteran group back. You know, probably the thing that was most exciting to me this spring was the continuity that we had from last year's team. We lost 11 seniors. They were all good players, and then obviously had one junior in Nuke Hopkins. But you know, just a lot of guys back that got some valuable experience last year, and we'll take the things that we learned and go apply them this summer, and each player work on those individual things that we've challenged them on. You know, then it can turn out and be a great spring as we get back to work in August.
Coach, it was a challenging year last year on and off the field for Sammy Watkins, including being arrested for misdemeanor drug possession. He recently got attention for speaking to young kids about his indiscretions. What did you think about what he had to say, and are you convinced he's really matured?
Oh, yeah. Listen, Sammy's been mature since the day he got here. You know, he literally has had one issue, one mistake, but the great lesson in that for all of these young players is, you know, it only takes one mistake to really damage, you know, your reputation and you know, the perception that people may have or whatever. But the reality of it is Sammy Watkins is a great young man. He's a guy that I'm proud to have on this team. Yes, he put himself in a bad situation, but you know what? You know, we all make mistakes, and the thing that you do is you learn and you grow from those mistakes, and that's what he did. And I don't have any doubt that he's a much more mature player this year than he was last year, and I think he's got a great foundation. He got his feet on the ground, and he's looking forward to a great junior year, and hopefully the good Lord will keep him healthy, because if he's on the field, he's going to be very productive.
Coach, it's very rare for a state to have 2 Heisman Trophy candidates. Of course, Jadeveon Clowney at South Carolina. You have your quarterback there in Tajh Boyd. If it comes down to Boyd versus Clowney, tell us why your guy should get the votes for the Heisman.
I ain't worried about any of that stuff. This is May, and you know, if you know me very well, I've never been one of these guys to really get caught up in the preseason stuff. All that preseason stuff is just based on what everybody did last year, and last year's totally irrelevant to where we are right now. Now, you know, we could have that discussion in December, you know, if it's a worthy discussion. But right now here in May, you know, Clowney is a phenomenal player. I mean, a great player and a great kid. And Tajh Boyd is a great player. Both of those guys have had excellent careers to this point. But when it's all said and done, hey, hopefully we do have both of those guys that are in contention. That means they stayed healthy. That means they had another great year and they led their teams to a bunch of victories. And, you know, then it would be a fun conversation. But, you know, right now, again, they're just 2 good players that want to lead their teams to a lot of victories and hope to have another good year of performance.
Coach, the defense made strides last season under Brent Venables' direction, but your secondary gave up a lot of long balls. Now you have to insert 3 new starters into the lineup. Will these guys be ready for Aaron Murray and Georgia in week 1?
Well, we're going to find out, that's for sure, because unless they just cancel the trip, I think they're going to show up, and it's going to be a big challenge for our team, because Georgia is a great football team. Had a great year last year. Really was just kind of a play away from, you know, probably playing for the national championship, and you know, they've got you know, as good an offense as probably we're going to see all next year. So it will be a big challenge. But you know, I'm very encouraged by our defense. We've got a bunch of players in that defensive line who can play. We do have 6 veteran guys back in the secondary that played a lot last year, but we got 8 new signees. So I'm hopeful that, you know, 2 or 3 or 4 of those guys will be able to really help us shore that group up.
All right, Coach Dabo Swinney, we appreciate the time. Best of luck in 2013.
Okay, thanks for having me.
Our Spring Spotlight Series continues as we check in with the top coaches in football and basketball coast to coast right here on CampusInsiders.com.